Hey, end of this video you will know exactly how to close your deals if you are having even a biggest of the pricing challenges. Like if your communication with your clients, you constantly hear from your clients that they don't have a budget, or maybe you're too expensive, or competitors are offering at a less price, can you offer some discount, 30%, 50% discount, all these things you're hearing, and in spite of whatever you're giving an answer to them, they are not changing means. This video is going to fix that. That's my promise, because this is the same thing what I'm going to cover. We have done programs to hundreds of companies where they are, after this program, they have people have gone and implemented, and that has made a big difference to them. So though we do a little longer program, I'm going to cover in this video exactly the gist which itself can help you. So first of all, what is this pricing? Why do we really get pricing challenges? So when you are doing a high ticket service, we are talking about a high ticket services like a coaching, IT services, or even a high ticket B2B products. So when you make your pricing, when you send a proposal, when you talk about your pricing, if the client says that, oh, this is too expensive, or this is something I cannot afford this and all, first and foremost what you need to do is to eliminate all other objections what they have, whether they have only the pricing objection. So one question you can ask very simple, if the pricing is handled, let's understand if the pricing is handled, are you fine with all the other things? So if the client says yes, everything else is fine and the pricing is the only issue, that is great. So now you can tackle the pricing. But imagine if they have many other things, it's good to tackle those than come to the pricing thing. So now let's say, yes, they have some pricing issues and all. So what are the common areas where the pricing issue comes? So we categorize that pricing issue is not just a one issue, it can come with around, there are 4 possible scenarios where you come up with a pricing issue. The first one is what I call as a budget, right? Now a lot of clients say that I don't have budget for your product. Now ideally this should not have happened to you when you present your price, unless you have done it very early in your sales. But most high ticket selling, you must try to qualify your client before going further and presenting your price. It is like you are selling a BMW, but then you are trying to sell to your Maruti car, people who can afford a Maruti. It's not going to work. So better to first identify what is that their budget they have, what is that in their mind, and if you become very clear that this is not something they can do, you can actually do not qualify the client. But that doesn't mean that there are no other options. A lot of companies, that's where they know that their clients cannot afford. If you are getting a lot of clients who cannot afford your services, but then still they have to sell, then that's where you need to be innovative. You have to come with multiple options. What I say, maybe monthly planning, or maybe tiered structure of planning where they can part payment, or even there are a lot of companies who offer even the loans, right? You can make the client actually pay by borrowing something. So all these are, you got to has to come as a pricing strategy. You've got to know your clients. Do they face these kind of budget problem? Then come up with a pricing strategy which can include all that. So the budget, I would say for most of high ticket client, high ticket selling, it's good to qualify people who don't have a budget to not further enter into sales conversation. But if you are constantly getting this budget issues, that means that you need to come up with a better pricing strategy. Now the second thing which is happens is people say we are expensive. You are expensive. So now this is very sometimes happens commonly where client says, oh, you're too expensive. We never thought your product at this price. We were not ready for this price. Now this is a very important to handle. A lot of people make this common mistake that when a client says you are very expensive, you try to defend. You say that no, we are not expensive, we are offering these things. Let me tell you, that is not going to work. Don't use that. Instead, we got to identify from where is client coming that you are expensive. So the best is to become very curious. You can ask, from where is it coming? Well, I'm just curious what you mean by expensive. So that is where let them explain. So most of the time when they say expensive, maybe they have not understood the value what you offer. We all have experienced, right? You go to a hotel sometimes, you order something, suddenly you see the price which is so high, whereas the same dosa, same whatever the juice, in other places in your mind it is only should cost 100, 120, but here these guys are asking 300 rupees like that or 250. You find it's too expensive. Now, unless you find the value, you don't want to really pay that much. So the chance is that if you're not experienced, explain the value very well, or the client has not understood value, that is where they will say it's expensive. Now, how do you handle it? The best way is to ask client what do they mean by expensive, and they may come back and say that we were looking for some of these features and these features they're expensive. Now here's where you got to understand. Do not try to reduce your price. Do not lower your price. Here is something you can have multiple offer, concession offer. Okay, it's expensive. Yes, we are offering all these features. But if you want at a lower price, we have another set of features which we can give you. So I can remove these features and I can match your price. That's where you communicate value. Each of these features actually come up with to X value like that. So this itself is a very something which you got to prepare in advance. But if you do it very well, you can actually make clients understand the value. Why your price is justified. You can show the proofs. You can see that the other clients have already bought these things at a much higher, and because they are experiencing the value. And you can also say that how they are going to get these returns very fast. So there are a lot of things you can do. But first is to understand from their side, from where are they coming as expensive. And again, there may be the third thing which we are going to cover is they may say expensive because it's a competition, right? So one of the answers you may get when you ask them, oh, what do you mean by expensive? They may say that competitors are offering at low price. Or maybe they had another solution which is offering at a lower price. Or now this is where you got to understand very clearly. If they are telling a competitor, you must have a very good competition battle card. You can probe them further. Okay, that's cool. There are some competitors offering. Can I know the competitor? Some people may not tell, some people will tell. But in spite of that, you can say that yes, some of the competitors are offering that. You got to have a battle card there saying why are they offering price. And you have to have a mechanism where you can tell them that I can match that price provided I remove these features. Provided I remove these benefits from it. So that's where you got to very clearly differentiate why you justify the price you are commanding. If you don't justify the price you are commanding, clients are not going to choose you. It's a simple buying behavior. We are not going to buy products which we find expensive, which I can get it at a low price. Like, what is the best if you are trying to choose a airline? What will you choose? You will always choose the lowest one, right? Because I don't see the difference what the clients are offering, different airlines offering. So unless you very validly show why you demand that extra price, how you quantify that value, people may not show. So you have to be prepared. If the competitions are offering low price, why do you demand a higher price? And explain that very well at that time. Then there is another fourth one which comes is that bargaining. So some people, they don't know competition, they don't have a problem with expensive, they even have a budget, but there is a typical tendency to bargain, right? They have been mandated that don't give the price. It's a typical Indian mentality, you can say, but a lot of purchase managers, their incentives are tied also to how much they can reduce. Now here is where depending on business, depending on your market, depending on the kind of clients, you need to plan very well. If you expect certain bargain, it is good to offer bargains in some places, especially if you are selling to corporates. You may have to have a 5 to 10% of discount ready so that you can offer them, you can make them happy. But if you are selling to B2C, if you are selling to something, you don't have to really yield to this bargain. Instead, you can offer something more to them, saying that the same price, but I understand where you're coming from. I'm also offering additional things so that you can additional value you can offer. But the bargain is something, as I said, depending on the business, depending on some, especially for B2B companies where purchase managers are talking, they don't understand sometimes the value and all. They are just purely going by the price. Just to please them, you may want to keep certain bargain like 5% like that. So as I said, these are all the 4 common areas you get issues with the pricing, and all you can solve is if you plan, prepare early, and how to handle your sales conversations. Now there is a book, you can download it, where we have covered everything on this in a much detail, and I would love to know what is that you have a comment on this. If you have any challenge you are facing, I will cover that. And also which other sales challenge you have when you are selling your high ticket services of coaching or services. Just let me know in the comment. I will be happy to answer in my next videos. And give a thumbs up, and if you like the video, do share to people whom you know.